Good morning, children. We were discussing chapter number 3 of history in the earliest cities. In this chapter, till now, we have discussed about saving an old building, the story of Harappa, what was special about these cities. We have also understood about the Great Bath, what kind of houses, drains, and streets were there in the cities. After that, we have seen life in the city. We have also seen the things like terracotta toys as well as the this kind of stamps or seals, we can say, through which the trade was possible at that time. Then in the last period we have tried to understand new craft in the city. We have also seen that what is faience, how it is used to make different kind of things, and today we are going to start to study another thing, that is in search of raw materials. So raw materials are substances that are either found naturally, such as wood or ores or metals, or produced by farmer or herders. These are then processed to produce finished goods. For example, cotton produced by farmers is a raw material that may be processed to make cloth, while some of the raw materials that the Harappans used were available locally. Many items, such as copper, tin, gold, silver, and precious stones, had to be brought from distant places. The Harappan probably got copper from present day Rajasthan and even from Oman in West Asia. Tin, which was mixed with copper to produce bronze, may have been brought from present day Afghanistan and Iran. Gold could have come all the way from present day Karnataka, and precious stones from present day Gujarat, Iran, and Afghanistan. So, here in this point, it is explained that how the ancient people were trying to source raw material like metals or different kind of things. So, the raw materials and different kind of substances were brought from distant places. Actually, it was found naturally. It was found naturally, such as the wood is found naturally, ores of different metals are found naturally. So, these kind of things were most of the time were naturally, or sometimes it was produced by farmers or herders. So these are then processed to produce different kind of things or goods. We can take the examples such as the cotton is there. Cotton is produced by the farmer, and what is it? It is a raw material to process the cloth, to make the cloth. While there are some materials which are found in Harappan were used local available were used by the people which were locally available. For copper, tin, gold, silver, and precious stones had to be brought tin, which was mixed with the copper to make the bronze. You know what is bronze actually? You would have seen the bronze medal and all that. These bronze medals or this bronze material or metal mixture of tin. These kind of things may be brought from present day Afghanistan and Iran. So tin is brought in the ancient time from the Afghanistan as well as in Iran. Gold could have come all the way from present day Karnataka. You know very well. Karnataka is one of the very important state in our country. So the gold mines are there. You would have seen or heard about the movie KGF. This KGF is based on some of the mines in the Karnataka. And precious stones from present day were brought from the Gujarat, Iran, and Afghanistan. So here you can see one bullock cart is a toy actually. This toy, how were goods carried from one place to another? Look at the illustrations. One shows a toy and the other is seal. If you can see, this is a toy. But with the help of this picture of the toy, we can understand that that time also the bullock carts were used for bringing the different material from the distant places. Now, the illustration given over here, what is it actually? It is a seal, and this seal were used for the businesses across the different parts of the across the different parts of the Harappan cities as well as inter cities of the Harappa. Can you suggest what the modes of transport used by the Harappan were? Obviously, that time the animals were used for transportation. Did you come across illustration of wheeled vehicles in the earlier lesson? So there are many of the wheeled vehicles in the ancient time also that were used by the Harappan people. Now, the next point we are going to see is food for people in the cities. While many people lived in the cities, others living in the others living in the countryside, grew crops and reared animals. These farmers, herders supplied food to crafts, persons, scribes, and rulers in the cities. We know from remains of plants that the Harappans grew wheat, barley, pulses, peas, rice, sesame, linseed, and mustard. So here it is said that many of the people were living inside the city, and some of them were living in the villages. Villages means countryside means what? Those who were living in the villages. The village side is called as the countryside, and they were growing the crops like the crops, different kind of crops. Means they were the farmer, as well as they were rearing the animals. These farmers and herders were supplying the food to craft persons as well as the scribe and rulers. Craft persons who were making the different things, different crafts, as well as scribes are those who are the writers or the authors or those who were copying the manuscripts and all that. And there were rulers also. To these people, these farmers and herders were supplying the food. And we know from remains of the plants that the Harappans grew different kind of crops like wheat, barley, pulses, peas, rice, sesame, linseed, and mustard. These kind of crops were grown by the uh, Harappans or the people those who were living in the Harappan city. A new tool, the plow, was used to dig the earth for turning the soil and planting seeds, while real plows, which were probably made of wood, have not survived. Toy models have been found. As this region does not receive heavy rainfall, some form of irrigation may have been used. This means that water was stored and supplied to the fields when the plants were growing. The Harappans reared cattle, sheep, goat, and buffalo. Water and pastures were available around settlements. However, the city, however, in the dry summer months, large uh, of the animals were probably taken to greater distances in search of grass and water. They also collected fruits like bear, caught fish, and hunted wild animals like the antelope. So here we are seeing the very important thing, that is different kind of tools were used in the agriculture, but that time the plow was used to dig the earth for turning the soil and planting seeds. So you know very well today also the farmers use the plow, the tractor plow and all that. With the help of that plow they are turning the soil so that the seeds can be sown into the soil. So actually they make the soil loose so that the plant can grow in that, as well as the roots of the plant should spread. So that time also the plow was introduced in the agriculture in the Harappan cities. Instead of this, if you can see here, this is a picture of the uh, this is the picture of the plow. So this kind of wooden plow was used that time, but here it is not the actual plow, it is a toy plow. You know very well today also the children are playing with such kind of things, those for example the toy cars and toy tractors and all that. So that time also this kind of toys were there. So, a toy plow today in many farming communities only men use the plow. We do not know whether the Harappans followed such customs or not, but that time, with the help of this plow, toy plow, we can understand that at time the plow was used by the Harappans. So, in this way, we have seen this. The remaining part we are going to see also. While real plows, which were probably made of wood, have not survived, but this toy is survived, that is found by the archaeologist. And these were used, these were probably made up of wood, and as it is made up of wood, the wood cannot survive for a long period of time. Toy models have been found in from this region. As this region does not receive heavy rainfall, some form of irrigation may have been used that time. So that time the irrigation was also used, irrigation methods were used, also used by the farmers for doing the agriculture. And what does it mean? It means that the water was stored at some place and then it was supplied to the different fields with the help of canals on that and all that, for growing the plants. The Harappans were rearing different kind of animals like cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, and water and pasture were available around all these settlements of the Harappan cities. However, in the dry summer months, so whenever it was a dry summer, large herds of animals were probably taken to greater distances. You know very well why they would have been moved to the different places or greater distances. Obviously, it was for grass and water, as the water in the summer season was getting dried up. Water and fodder, all the things. As well as they were collecting different kind of fruits, like they were collecting the bear, they were catching the fish, as well as they also hunted the animals like the antelope. So these kind of things they have done for their food. And in the next period we are going to see a closer look to Harappan towns in Gujarat. So till then, thank you very much. The remaining part we will see in the next period.